Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Good, so last session we did do some changes in the file system to accommodate a new feature, and we had some crash here, or let's say an exception being thrown, which was not clear why. Why did that happen? Because it couldn't load a file. But then how did it ever work before? So so this already existed here. Files read 0 subdeals. Why is this hitting there? Load flags 3. Files read 0. Files read 0. Files read 0. Which makes sense because I think there's no file. Default game data. Yeah, there's no file in there. But does file exist? Maybe the problem is that this function let's put a breakpoint here. Here. I suspect it's related to the changes we did to file exist in the archive. Maybe. I think I can already sense what it is. Let's go to archive file. Archive file. We added we touched some let's just debug it. Yeah. So there we go. Any file system any. So it won't find it, right? That's fair. That's fair. It won't find that. Okay, what's the next one? There we go. Okay, let's check this one. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Okay. Okay, so first it checks okay. Local file system doesn't find. Now archive file system. Result. Dir info. Great. So the range is 2 guys in there. So we'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So, so we have a range that looks like there's one guy in there, right? Range valid. So, well, it looks like the range is not valid because it's the same, or is it not? So this is invalid. No, it is. Huh? How is this valid? Like the. It's just a string. Hold on. Yeah, okay, it is valid. Okay. And then what do we have here? Range get second get file info. Get. Oh god. There we go. Okay, so file name, game data ini. Okay, blah 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 blah. I think the toLower function is really inefficient in the way that no matter what, it will create a copy, even if it's already lower, right? That sucks. Yeah. I wonder if there's something we can do about that. Creates a copy. Or you could first make a pass and just check if it is already lower. Yeah. First check if it's lower. But then you always need to make 2 passes. But it's probably still better than doing a copy and then maybe the copy seems kind of silly, doesn't it? The copy is kind of silly. Yeah. It would be better to just do just one copy. Like this now does 2 copies essentially. Yeah. Yeah, that seems silly. It's an efficient way to say if one is not the other. So too upper or just too lower? Too lower. How often is this called? If few times. We'll be right back. Good. Yeah, maybe we can consider optimizing this. I just don't know yet how to say, hey, we lowered it efficiently. Because then you would need to compare the before and after. Is there like a too lower, which oh, may I close that? Oh boy. Let's ask ChatGPT. What is the most efficient way to convert a string to lower string and tell whether it actually was lowered in C++? Actually lowered in C++ afterwards. Let's say what it suggests here. Let's see. Seems to be a big question. Makes it think. Okay, seems to be a complex question. Yeah. Good. Yeah, but I think we can get rid of this copy here. Yeah. And then basically we just have well, yeah, this also looks unsafe, right? Peak. What is peak do? Peak is this function is unsafe, isn't it? Because if this string here is longer than this, then this is a buffer overflow, isn't it? Yeah, no, this doesn't look safe. Yeah. Looks pretty bad, yeah. Great. Okay, how can we... How can we... Yeah. Yeah, this function really sucks with this buffer. Are there more functions like this? This one. Yeah. I think this one is not too bad because here, okay, we have a limitation for the format. Fine. But this one is really bad because, like, if this string here is longer than this buffer, then this definitely will be a buffer overflow. Right. Yeah. So that looks pretty unsafe. Yeah. There's a lot wrong with this function. A lot. So did it generate anything? No. It looks like ChatGPT is broken. Yeah. Good. Great. So how can we do this here? It would be nice to fix this function. Okay, looks like the website is just fully broken. Oh, okay. Well, not ChatGPT today. Okay. Okay, then let's think about this. So we want... So the problem is if we don't know how long this string is, well, most of the time it will be smaller than this. Maybe, well, it better be 100% less than that. All right, but if it is longer, then we trouble. So okay, how about we do the following? We have both. So this is target, and then we have char source. Const char source is peak. Great. Then we do while we say if source, if those, and then while source, and then we say target plus plus equals to lower source plus plus. Okay, but now we don't know whether it actually has lowered it or not. Are you ready? No. ChatGPT is still broken. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could have something like source target. We can say if source buff and then we would say while target while source and it's a bit complicated to implement this now. Yeah. Let's go to the strl copy. No, it's string x dot h. If we can find that here. So there we have an strl copy somewhere. Templated strl copy. strlen. strlen. Okay, so maybe we do that. strlen peak. Okay, so first we check how long it is. Source len. Okay, and then we do maybe we need an strlen that also checks if everything is lowercase. Maybe. Yeah, that could be an idea. So we have the strlen t, right? This one. So how about we create a new function? Let's do a namespace. So strlen and test lowercase. Then we see while str plus str. Then we do do test lowercase. Let's do a bool is lower. I do is lower true, and then here is lower, and then str is lower. Okay. So it's true, and then do like this is lower. This returns a boolean? No, integer. Then we cast it to bool. Okay. Well, how about we just make it... Let's make it slower. Let's make an integer lower. 1. What is lower? C++. What does this return? Returns a non-zero value. Let's, I would say we leave it at Boolean. Okay. Okay, so we could do it like this. Yeah. strlen and test lower. Then here we would do this. Let's say bool is lower. Say slower equals true. Well, it would have to be false if it has no characters, right? Strictly speaking. Maybe we can say maybe we say slower case. Yeah, so the problem I see with this one is that if it has 0 characters, then its lowercase is still true, which seems a bit odd. Could add a condition down here below, but that's not very elegant. Slower case, true. Yeah. or we do one function and say and test case, and then we have int lowercase int uppercase. We can do it like that, and then we set this one to 0, uppercase, but then it means we need to test two things, right? Is upper and here we would say plus. The only downside of this one is that now it needs to test two states here. But this way it allows us to do what we need to do. So then we have here test case. Then we do these two, put them here, and then put this here, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, and then we can say if not, or if uppercase equals 0, then we're done here. Return, right? Nothing to do. Then if sourcelen is 0, then also nothing to do. Return. Peak. Data peak. Data peak. Well, I think, yeah, it could be empty. Sourcelen, okay. We could also do if data equals null ptr return. Okay. And then what would be next? So we test lowercase, uppercase. So if uppercase is already 0, then we're done. If sourcelen is 0, we are also done. Okay, now also we know how long the string is. So we know we need to allocate. So that means we need to ensure unique buffer of size, numchars needed, sourcelen, preserve data. What does that do? Preserve data. We don't care about that. Hold on. we can do const. No, we can't, because it will deallocate. Yeah, we need to do preserve data, which we'll also do copy. Yeah. Well, that sucks. How's this used? Okay, so this will have to do true null PTR. So this will create a copy and allocate. Yeah. Actually, no. If we should do the following. If m data ref count is 1, so we're the only owner. Then we can modify it in place. Kind of would be nice if we already stored the length of the string. Right. Yeah. Oh, it's an awful function. It's an awful function. So if ref count is 1, then we can just do in place to lower. So we simply do wait, but doesn't think ensure unique buffer of size. It also checks if it's not, if it's 1, right? Yeah. If ref count is 1. Yeah, I think it calls validate. What does validate do? Oh boy. This validate thing is kind of expensive. Yeah. Okay, then how about we put this up here? And then so we can do char str equals this. And then for str equals to lower str plus plus or c plus plus str. Yeah. We need to say while str. Yeah. So that means we have an strlen, we test the case for both upper and lower, then we make sure that we have a large enough buffer that is unique. So this one will allocate if it needs to. Then it will write lower. This one will also do a str copy. That's it. So there's quite a few. Yeah. So one pass here. Here's another pass. So 3 loops over the strings in total. Yeah. So it's not cheap, but now at least it's safe. Yeah, it's not cheaper, but it's correct. Well, at least something. Yeah. Can we optimize this now? Yeah, I don't know. Wonder if we should remove this STLN here from the debug. It's even 2 STLNs here. Oh boy. But only if it hit that case. Or? No. Wait, let me see that. No, it doesn't evaluate it. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't evaluate this thing here. So I guess that's good. Fair enough. Yeah. The Unicode string, is it including ASCII string? No, it's not. Should probably make it one function instead of having this duplicated shit. Yeah. Does this not have an to upper? Does not. Okay. to lower. Okay, how about we add another one? Make string uppercase to upper. Okay. And then we make a copy of this shit. To upper. And then if lowercase is 0, then that's good. And then to upper, and then we're good to go. Right? Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, I think that's correct. Yeah. By the way, we totally derailed from what we actually wanted to look at. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I see it now. Started a skirmish. The fade out is decoupled, but the fade in is doing something different. I didn't notice much at the 1 second fade, but I set it to 5 seconds. Fade out uses that. Fade in uses that. That makes sense. I suspect that is designed then. This project, minor bug. Okay. Mm-hmm. Looking good. Mm-hmm. Okay, then let's go back here. Good. So ini file, blah, blah. Okay, let's go in there. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, does file exist? So we go in here. Blah, blah. Then we go in here. Then we have this. This is null. Let me go up here. Right. So file name game data ini. So this one will have that thing. Ref count is 2. Let's step into our new toLower function, which does a source len 12, lowercase 22, uppercase 0. How does that work? Lowercase is 22. What the hell does that return then? Okay, that's weird. Okay, it really returns a non-zero. Is slower. Non-zero value if the character is zero case letter. Convert the value to unsigned SHA. Okay. Signed. Then how about we do unsigned SHA. Let's make this a const SHA. Okay, then I think here we need to as upper 10. Can we do this maybe? What is the fastest way to... Well, I think it's just... I think just casting it to Boolean is probably the fastest, right? Yeah, we just cast to Boolean and then back to integer. Alright, that should do. Also casting, yeah. Okay, I think that will work now. Okay, let's try that again. So, game data, da 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 da. Okay, blah. There we go. Good. Then we go in here. So now tokenizer to lower. So da da da. 12, lowercase 11, uppercase 0. Okay. And so there's no uppercase, so we don't need to do anything, and we are done. Look at that. No allocation, no processing. Very simple. Okay, so that's cool. Tokenizer, next token, to lower, next token. Okay. So this file doesn't exist. Okay, fair enough. Let me double check that it really doesn't exist. So it's looking for default game data ini. But it's here. It should be there. Yeah, okay, so we somehow broke it. Hmm. Let's token game data ini. Get fine for a second. Maybe it's because we passed the wrong path. We probably need to pass this one here and not this. Yeah. Does this take? Oh, it takes ASCII string. Oh, so that's another allocation. Where does it take? Where does it take a ASCII string? What is this? Is there any reason for this? This does as well. Okay, there's a rabbit hole. Yeah. To do make const char. Okay, so I think what we need to do is pass file name here, which will construct an ASCII string, but that's okay. Okay, let's test that. Well, that's a bit unfortunate because that will be more expensive, right? No. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Well, we have this here. Dear info files. What is this? This is ASCII string. Maybe file location map. I don't like the cost here. This is really sad because what does this return? Maybe we can give some more information here. Hmm. I think it would be best if we also gave the file info here. So we give a dir info. What actually? Yeah, I'm not so sure how we can make this efficient here. It's really bad. We have one search here. This one is okay. Then we have another one here. Blech. It really sucks, yeah. Directory info. Path. Let me get a hit there again. I need to look at it in debugger at the data structure. So, what is in this result? Results. So, dear info, path, directory name, files. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Second. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There probably is a way to do this more elegantly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Archive. Mm-hmm. It would be nice if this one was more flat. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Instead, it always needs to go through tokenization, and find all the leaves. Ugh. Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Archive directory info. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way the data is laid out is not very great. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Hmm. Can we do something else to make it more efficient? Archive directory info. Hmm. Maybe there's something we can do in here. Maybe. Hmm. Well. Not really. What is this root directory? It would be easier if this key was not just a string, but was actually linking to the actual yeah, it can't. Oh man, I don't know. It's a really complicated problem with the current architecture here. I mean, we have it solved with what we have here, but it's not great because we need to look into this archive structure now to see whether this file is ignored or not. It's really bad, yeah. It is bad. But maybe we just have to accept it for now. Yeah. Accept it. Maybe. Maybe what we can do is in this structure here, the archive file, this one, maybe we should have another container in here. Yeah. Another lookup container. Why do we have this data structure here? Yeah. So for lookup, it would be faster if we just had a hash map from the whole string with folders and file name to the lowest unit that there is, the file information. Right? But instead we have this root directory thing, which is more structured, yeah, which allows us to do this function here. But it makes this function inefficient. It's probably good for this function. Yeah. It's good for this function, but it's bad for the other. Maybe we need to build another container in here. Makes the archive file a little bit bulkier. Yeah. But then but this is stable. It's a SC map. It has stable elements, so we could have something else pointing to it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how about we add a new so we already have this. Let's do a hash map ASCII string to pointer. Hash map info named PTR. So we can take this guy and then we put him into I'm not actually sure we need him here. I think we can make this, we can add this type div to archive file. It can be a private thing. Archive file. Add file. So full file name to full file name to file info. And then instead of doing this looping here, we would do let's think about it. Here info. We would have, let's comment all of this out. So to find, but we need to ASCII string. Oh, shit. Yeah, file name. File name let's say a fixed file name. And then we do fixed file name to lower. And then we also need to do replace. How do we replace in this thing? Oh, shit. I don't know how we can do a as ASCII string we can't really do. We can't really find and replace characters in there, can we? Yeah. Probably need to implement a replace function, right? So trim to lower to upper. Let's add a replace function. Voids find just replace. How does the function in std string replace work? Replace. std string find and replace character. How's this done on std string? I already forgot. std replace. Oh, but that's probably some newer C++, isn't it? Looks new. Find. Replace a specified portion of a string. Position, count. Maybe we just add a custom function, find and replace. Find and replace. And then we just say char find, char replace. It's not very elegant, but it would get the job done. Yeah. Simple find and replace. Find and replace a character. It's very specific, but I think it gets the job done. I wonder if there are other places that how they replace. Let me see. Let's search for this character. SD replace. Okay. So I would say we do if turn, let's do bool has finds ch const charm source pick while source plus plus source wait we can use str I think. Or str chr data peak, and so we want to find this character. Let me say if this equals null ptr, then we're also done. Otherwise this shit, now we need to know how long it is, which again we don't know. Get length, preserve data true, null ptr, and then while str while str if str str equals find isn't there an strc functions? strchr, let me see if there any partner. So copy cat len compare finds the first occurrence. Okay. Well, that's not much. Okay, that's not much. Okay, then we do str equals replace. Okay, I think that's it. As for this one here, I wonder if we should even lowercase. Maybe we should do a struct. I have a better idea. So lowercase. Well, let's say string case info. Get string case info. Then we return this. Struct string case info. We have int. We have size t, length. Int lowercase count, uppercase count. Okay. Then we initialize this to length 0, 0, and 0. Okay, and then here we do this string case info, this blah blah blah, count, and then here info dot length equals that. And then let's create another function, and we do string character info length and search character count. String character info, so char, search char. Okay, let's do it like this. Search char count. I think we can make this a size T as well. Okay. Okay, string case info, blah, blah, blah. And then here we do if str equals search char, then we do info dot uppercase this blah blah return info. And then here we say info dot this equals search char, no, plus plus, incremented, there we go. We say here. How about we say plus equal size T. Like this. How about that? Can we do that? Okay. Then here we do string case info. We say info dot uppercase count. Info dot length. Paste lowercase. Okay. Okay, and then here we do string char info equals get string char info. String char info. Then here we do data peek, find const. Then here we do info dot length. Then we do if these two, if info dot search char count 0, return. There we go. I think this is what the most efficient we can do right now. It would be better if length was already embedded in the ASCII string to begin with, but it's not. So that's the best we can do right now. Yeah, so if there's no match, then we're done. Yeah. Okay, I think that's fast and efficient. Okay, cool. Then we do then we go to where we were before. Oh man, we have way too many things open here. How about we do how about we close other tabs and clean up a little bit here because it's getting out of hand, the amount of tabs we have open. So uppercase count length, uppercase count length. Okay, and then we do how about we place this at the top? Inline. Inline. Static. I think we can put the namespace here as well. Okay. Then we have this bullshit. Okay, to lower, to upper, find and replace. Okay. Then we can go to archive file. There we go. And here we edit new shit down here. And then we would do fix file name and then find and replace. And we find these and replace them by that. There we go. Okay, then full file name to file info. Well, here maybe we should say if the Win32 else and if should probably do this on Windows, otherwise that. Okay, then we do define that. And this one will give an iterator, const iterator. File info. Let me say if t is not the end, then return it second. Right. Yeah. So this would be the more efficient lookup now, but we of course need to populate this container. All right. So right now this one is always empty. And here we have add file, and I think that's the only place where things are added, right? Yeah, add this file to our directory tree. So we probably need to add this shit here. File info. Okay, file info. Path. So path is the fully qualified path, is that right? Let's assume it is. So then we will have this and path equals, hold on. So here it makes a copy of that thing. So this is a bit unfortunate. I think we can call insert, right? Insert, maybe. Insert. STD map inserts. STD map insert. Pair. I don't quite understand why it takes a position here. Shouldn't we give it a key and a value? What is this? Why do we only give it a value? Where's the key? Wait, am I looking at the wrong function? Is it not insert? Elements. Multiples. Aha. How do I add one? Huh? I thought insert also can add one. Because mplace is C++11. We can't do that. I don't understand. Like there should be something that takes an that takes a pair or something. I'm a bit confused with this. STD map. Why does STD map not have an insert function which takes a pair? I don't understand. Insert. So here's a key value pair. Aha. STD pair. Okay. So the value seems to be a pair. Aha. So if we do here STD pair, will this work? We take file name and file info. Will this work? Maybe. And then the return type is, oh Jesus, STD pair. What does it return? An iterator and a boolean, right? Pair iterator bool. So results, and this iterator is this iterator. Okay, well that was complicated. It's really hard to read. How about we say STD pair. That's also hard to read, isn't it? Let's leave it like that. It's a bit long, but okay. If it compiles, it compiles. So result, and then well, we need to say if result dot second, then results path result dot first second pointer, right? Okay, it's really confusing. Second, first, second. Yeah, but I think that will work. Yeah, you can also make it const. Okay. Good. So okay, so if this works, then we should have a much more efficient lookup here. Let's see if that works. Yeah. Okay, we got some compile errors. Fantastic. Legal expression. Where? Find ASCII string. Why does it return an STD list iterator? What is this? Okay, I don't understand. Okay, so this looks very confusing. Man, what is the problem? Hash map. We have an ASCII string to a pointer. Great. What is the problem? By the way, we still need to do this here as well. Tokenizer. Next token. Let's do fixed path, to lower that. Then we no longer need to do this here. Fix. Oh. Right, here we do fixed path. There we go. Okay. Illegal expression. Fantastic. Okay, now it's getting complicated because no one will understand what's going on here. Oh boy. Okay, what's the problem here? It's a const function. We do a find. It returns a const iterator for the hash map. Maybe it should just be a map then, a normal map, instead of a hash map. Maybe that will avoid some trouble. Maybe. But it will be more expensive, the lookups. Hash map would be better. Why is this failing? Let me ask ChatGPT. Given the following compile error, what is the likely problem? Term doesn't. This always means that hash ASCII string is not a valid callable hash functor. Maybe we are missing some include. Is that maybe possible? Let me see. Hash map. ATS hash. Maybe. Maybe we need to copy pasta this here. That could be. Okay. Copy pasta. Working. Great. Okay. Then that is compiled, and let's see if that will work. Man, that was more difficult than I thought. Okay, so here we want to insert result. It is inserted. Second true. Hold on a second. What does it actually... I think this Boolean is whether it was inserted now, right? I don't think that's the right thing to do. Bool return set to true if the insertion took place. Okay, so what we need to do is instead we need to do result first is not the end. It's not end. There we go. That's a right check. Yeah, easy to make mistakes. So, result, and then fixed path, data audio sounds English. Okay, now I'm a bit confused because there's no file being added. What is this? Add file, English. Huh? What is this file? Is this it's not a file. Okay. File name. Pass, and this is a I see. I see. Okay, hold on. I see. We need to do it differently. So the tokenizer, we again do the to lower. There we go. And then this guy, sorry. Then we go down here, path. We go here and we say ASCII string full file name equals path full file name dot concat file info file name. Then we do to lower, and then find and replace, and then this. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So result blah full name concat. Yep. To lower. Yep. Okay, cool. And then full file name, lower, and that's it. Second, and this object should be stable because it's in an STD map. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, fantastic. Then should be fine. Okay, cool. Yep, this should work. And then let's see a lookup. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So file name, fixed file name. Fixed file name, so everything to lower, blah, blah. And then will it find it? So there are 135 files and they're all flat. Yeah, so that's cool. Yep, so that's now a very efficient lookup for what we need. Yep, and it finds it. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so this we can do. And now it finds it, and then it goes down here. Now, what does it do here? That I wonder, because it already has a file info. What does it do now? Does some string shit. Huh. Timestamp. That looks pretty broken. Timestamp. File info. Okay. Good, but I think this is fine now. Yeah, it will do its job and it does what we need to do and it's reasonably efficient and now this will work. Yeah, okay, cool. Then let's see if we get any asserts or so. No. No, the game loads. Okay, cool. That works. So, then let's check if the game still works normally. We didn't really achieve much yet, though. It was a lot of boilerplate we did so far. Just implementing a bunch of functions. Okay, but the game still works. I can hear the audio as well. We can scroll and see things. Yeah, okay, so this is good. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Then the next step would be to... next step would be to actually implement the there are probably still some other cases we need to handle here in the archive system. Let's look around if there's something we have not handled yet. So archive file system. Let's split this a bit. Archive file. Archive file. File info. Okay, then here we can say needs two tests. Let's test. Test. What I find weird about this get file info that it will also go through the local file system. I don't understand this here. I really don't. Like if I want to ask the big file whether why does it do that? Is this a bug? I have the impression this is a bug here, that this line is here. Are there other implementations of this get file info? To me, this looks like a bug that this line is here. I can't think of a reason why we would want to ask the file system, the local file. So these are the files that are not inside the big file. Why would we ask that for information when we only care about what's in the big file, right? It doesn't make sense. Like, what would it give us? Like a date? A date. info. Size high, low, timestamp. It would give a timestamp. Then what? I think what it should do is, it should not do this. Size can't be bigger than a junk file. The high ends. Then let's do file info. Timestamp high 0. Timestamp low 0. Okay. Then we do the same here. Yeah. And let's look at local file system. What it does. Yeah, here it also sets all of them. Okay. No, it should be at the bottom. Let's move these to the bottom so that the order is consistent. What the hell is that bullshit? Okay. Okay, fantastic. I think that makes more sense. Let's delete this. Unless, of course, I'm wrong. Okay, let's test that shit. Oh, it's a lot of junk in this game, isn't there? A lot of junk. So, game still runs. That's great. Then let's see what's next. So we're slowly fixing ahead, so that's very good. Yeah. So what is missing now? I think we can remove this shit here as well. All of this here. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, so this is looking good. Blah, blah, blah. Da, da, da. Okay. Good. Then next we need to... We still need to check if there's anything else that needs to check for the... Fire and for... Check for verify that the let's say needs to get file info file info is returns now if the archive file, if the file in the archive is ignored. Okay, so that should do. Now there still is open file. We haven't looked into that yet. Here, open file. Get archive file, open file. Yeah. I think we're looking at this one. Here. If file info ignore, return null. There we say or ignore return null. Okay, that should cover this case. Then we need to do the same here. Okay. Okay, I think we're making good progress here. So, did we miss anything or is everything covered? So there's open file, close all files, blah blah, get file info, attach file, I don't know what that is. File list, let's take a look at that again. That one is covered with this check here. Yeah. Okay, that one is covered. I think this archive file should be good. Good, then, well, we still need to have some way to actually mark a file as ignored. Right. So we have open file. Archive file system. Open file. Is this an overload? No. Is there anything inheriting this guy? Why does it have public functions? Oh, there is. Override. Okay. CIC. So we have open file. File exists. Archive file operations. Then let's add a function here. Void. Oh boy. Bool. Ignore file. Bool. Ignore. Ignore a file in, but we don't use instance. Ignore all instances of a file in the archive system. Then we need to give a file name and ignore true. So we have open file. Okay, so now the question is, how do we actually ignore that shit? We need to archive file instance. Well, we still need an instance, right? It seems a bit weird that we can ignore specific instances, so then instance 0 could be ignored and instance 1 not. What would be the use case of that? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Instance. Ignore. Ignore a file in the archive system. Okay, then we have this, and then archive, return, ignore file, file name, ignore. Okay. Then we also need an ignore here. Then let's add here a bool ignore file. Const char. Ignore file. Bool ignore. Add file. How about we add it down here? Ignore file. Okay. And then here we would have to do full file name to file info. Blah, nope, that's file name. Yeah, hold on. Would have to do this. We should probably let's add a function here, protected. Void string to full, say to fixed file name in place, ASCII string file name Put it here at the bottom. Wow. This can be static as well. Static. Okay. And there we do this. File name to lower, and then this here. Okay. And then we can file name, fixed file name. And then we say fixed file name. Okay. Okay. There we go. Then here we also do the same. Let's say, let's call it fixed file name. We should call it full file name. Full file name, because it's full file name. Let's call it full file name. So it matches the name of the container. Called full file name. There we go. Then we remove this. There we go. Then here we do the same. So we have ASCII string, full file name equals file name. There we go. Full file name. And then we do dot find full file name, and that returns a iterator IT of this thing, and that will be if IT is not this thing, and then that will be, well, if it is and then return false, and otherwise IT second ignore to ignore type and return true. Okay, ignore file, that works. Add file. How does open file look now? Oh, we don't see it. Okay, never mind. Okay, ignore file. I think this looks good. Full file name in place. Yep. We can also do here the early returns. We say if this is that, then we do return null PTR. Otherwise, return that. Okay. Is that fair? Okay, do here. Okay, I think this is looking good. So we now have a way to ignore. Let's see if that is called return. So here we do false. Okay, I think in archive system we have hooked up everything. So it's only local file missing now. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I think so far it's going well. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, cool. Yeah. Then I think it's a good time to take a break. It's been over 3 hours. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 One of something else needs fixing. This function is called vision bonus. Vision bonus already xferred and cause incorrect shroud reveal. Undo called. Mm. Undo shroud reveal. Last look, how far? Object unlock returns early. Unlock. What? This triggers a call to update the shroud. Triggers a vision bonus. SMD triggers a vision bonus. But this data is already xferred. How about okay? Would it perhaps be possible to decouple the, what is it called, partition, the partition manager Xfer with the, what was it, decouple Xfer and ready state and decouple the partition manager Xfer and init ready states so that everything can be Xferred, but the partition manager will not be mutated until after the Xfer. Will not be accepting mutation until after the Xfer. Random order. Basically, I would like to get rid of the spaghetti. Just make a proper fix when we can. Let's just put this. Yeah, so I would say that the partition manager, you should be able to Xfer it and Xfer other things, but then its state is locked. It's not ready yet. And then only when the load is done and the game is about to start, only then it can be mutated by calls. Yeah, I think that could solve the trouble, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Good. I think I will take a break here. The next session we will can we merge something maybe? Let's see. Review approved. Yeah, we have a few things here. I can probably merge this one here, right? Okay, so this one is a squash and merge. Okay, anything else we can merge right now? Maybe this one here. I think this is just a tweak CMake, yeah. Wait, is tweak a valid thing, a valid keyword? I'm actually not sure. It is, okay. Okay. I need to copy this and pasta it. Okay, so anything else you can merge right now? Yeah, the rest we can maybe next session. This one could be merged, I think. Cabal has a bunch of things, but we're still waiting for updates here, which he needs to do, yeah. Okay. Anyway, we merged a few things today, so that's good. Good. Making progress. Good. Then I will end it here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.